Welcome back everyone. In today's video, we're going to be showing you how to remove the gauge cluster on your SC400. I think this works for all years. I'm not sure if there's any difference in them, but the reason I'm removing mine is because I've had this flashing overdrive light ever since we did the manual swap, and that's because the circuit is no longer complete. So I did a little looking into it on the forums, and everyone said the best bet is just to remove that bulb, because without the complete circuit, that light's just going to keep flashing. I'm not sure if there's wires or something you could cross somewhere, but there's no need for it because you no longer have the automatic transmission. So I'm going to be showing you how to remove this gauge cluster. Your first step is going to be removing your battery or disconnecting it. Before you do that, you're going to want to make sure you lower your steering wheel a little bit just so it doesn't get in the way of you trying to remove this. When disconnecting the battery, we're going to start with our negative side first, and it's a 13 millimeter. Once you have your battery disconnected and your steering wheel out of the way, you're going to come here underneath the top of the cluster, and there's going to be these two little plastic covers. You can see one there and one on the other side. You're going to pop those off with a pick or trim tool, and there's going to be two Phillips head screws. Here is those little two covers here. Be a little careful when taking these off with a pick because they both just like fly out, and make sure you set them aside so you don't lose them. And now you can see up in there is one of our screws, and up there's the other one. Here are the two screws that you're going to find up in those little holes. With those out, the top is now loose. Next, we're going to be taking off this bottom trim piece. Once you get the two screws out, you're just going to give this piece a little pull. It might be in there a little tight. You could use a plastic trim tool. Mine was loose enough that I was able to yank it out with my hand. There's just two little clips holding it in down there. And then there's two plugs. Once you get the clips free, there's going to be a plug on each side. One of them is for the buttons, and then the other plug is going to be for your toggle knob for the brightness. There's just little tabs on the bottom you're going to push in, and then you can disconnect those plugs. So we have successfully gotten this out. We unclipped both the plugs on either side, and then there's just two plastic clips that were the ones we pulled out first. Now that I have mine out, it seems interesting. It seems like I had a little aftermarket security system installed. It looks like there's clips for a factory option for this, but mine does not look too factory. It was disconnected once upon a time though, so maybe I'll just remove that little bulb. Now that the bezel's removed, we can go ahead and remove the two screws out of here. I'm going to be using a little snap-on screw gun to do this. It's very important that you don't lose these screws. Unfortunately, it seems like the head that I have is not magnetic, but we're just going to set these aside with the other ones. We now have the cluster out. We got the three plugs done. Here's a look at what they look like on the back. These first two aren't too bad. This last one, the release tab is pretty far back in there, but if you have one of these little hooking trim tools, it works nice because you can push it back in there and push the clip out at the same time. So don't be discouraged. I think my wheel wasn't even down all the way, so it made it a little more difficult. So before disconnecting the battery, make sure you have the most room possible because it is quite a tight fit, and I did scratch the top of the steering wheel a little bit, but we'll be replacing it eventually, so that's no big deal. But now that we have the cluster out, we can actually see the overdrive bulb is right down here on the left. If you turn it over this way, you can get a look at that. The ETC power and the overdrive bulbs are those ones right on the bottom. So you can actually just twist it out right from here. There's no need to take anything apart. Now would also be a good time, if you're interested, to sending your cluster out to get it repaired, or if you need to fix your motors and needles yourself, now's a good time to do it. You can check out Tannin Auto Electronics for those services. Here is a look at that bulb now that's pulled out, and we don't have to worry about our flashing lights anymore. We now have the cluster back in, and as you can see, no more flashing overdrive light. Now my cluster does have some dead needles, and there's a couple spots on it where the bulbs are a little bit faded, and the motors are also dying. Half the time when I start the SC, I have to give the dash a smack or else I have no RPMs. So as I said, if you have it pulled out, now would be a good time to look into sending it out or repairing it yourself. I'm probably going to send mine out when it's time. It's not really something I'm worried about right now. There's a few other things I want to finish first, but when it is time, I'm going to pull this out and ship it out to Tannin Auto Electronics and have them rebuild the cluster, like replacing the bulbs with LEDs probably and getting new needles put in, so I can actually see my fuel and everything else. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this little how-to video, subscribe for more content like this. I do want to get some more videos up soon, maybe like once a week or once every other week. I'm trying my best to think of some content to make. And if you happen to find me here on YouTube, but you're interested in more content than what I have here, you can check out my Instagram and my TikTok. I post a lot more on there. I post once or twice a day, if not more. So if you like the SC content, make sure you check me out there, drop a follow, and talk to you soon.